everyone. It is Friday the 17th of June, the time is 1:30 p.m. and the temperature is 29 degrees. I'm in Ubud, in Bali. And the plan today is basically to walk some of the main streets of Ubud. I'm only here to visit quickly. I took a grab this morning, or well, I should say this afternoon. I think it was already past noon when I actually got in the car. But there's a driver who's going to pick me up again in a couple of hours, and my plan is to walk around here and get some views like this one. Sorry. And just get a feel for Ubud. I've been here before to sort of stay overnight, and if you're not one who really needs the beach and the beach sunsets and that sort of thing, then Ubud can be a great choice. Of course, known for the famous movie, is it Eat, Pray, Love? I guess that's the order that she does it in the movie. It's about a lady who finds her current life a little bit unsatisfactory and goes to meditate somewhere and eat pizza in Italy and that sort of thing, and ends up here in Ubud as well. I'm just wondering if that's actually the entrance to the water temple. I was hoping I could take a peek inside. If it is, I'll walk back, because I think it is on the side here. I'll see if it's through here or not. You can see it behind the restaurant there if it's coming through. It's a really lovely place. I hope I can make a detour.
Hello. You dancing tonight? The Balinese
No,
band?
thank you. It's a Starbucks. And there's a cafe here. But this is kind of what I'm here to see. It's a really lovely calm place here. I think we can see one beautiful lotus flower. Sometimes you're luckier. You can see plenty. Oh, there are some at the back as well. Some have probably closed. That's one of the most beautiful ones I've seen for a while. Is that a real one though? Yeah, they are real flowers. But it's just really beautiful here. Bali is so full of these details. All of the different characters that you see around the island. And we've kind of gone from the hustle and bustle of the street, where I'll end up back in a moment. I really want to catch some of that as well. Into this quiet sanctuary. There were quite a lot of people heading to a temple, dressed in the traditional clothes that the Balinese people tend to wear for these events. How beautiful is that? Is it catching it properly? I hope so. The details are pretty amazing on these. There are a few rules to follow when you enter. You're supposed to wear a sarong to the temples. That's a kind of scarf around your legs, like a skirt kind of thing. You can usually get that from the temples as you arrive as a tourist. You don't have your own. And the one rule that you might not know about, I think there are turtles in that pond. That's quite fun. But the one thing you might not know about is Balinese kind of specialty, in that if women are menstruating, they're not supposed to enter the temples, which may feel a little bit weird, but of course follow the customs. They got some fun signs and things you could take with you as you go. Ubud is a great place for any kind of souvenir that you might find yourself wanting to buy. Of course, you can get a lot of things anywhere in Bali, but there's a lot of variety, and they do have a fire dance going on tonight here That's not going to be very useful when this is published, but I guess that's something that happens not just today. There's a lot of traffic going through Ubud, both on foot, bikes, everything. It's a very busy scene, and often the pavement doesn't seem to quite accommodate all the people as well. You won't see everything that's here, of course, on this video today. It's just a look. Just tell you a little bit if you've been before and you want to see what it looks like now. It is busy with tourists, definitely. And if you're thinking of coming, then this is some really nice details what it's like. So I can just show you a little bit of the gates. I won't be able to go into this one, I think, the temple here. And often when people do sort of come to these temples to worship, you just see them go in. It's not for tourists to enter in a lot of places. Some places you can, with the sarong and all of the other things around that. But like you can see, it says do not enter here. It's just very pretty and very detailed. I saw someone actually making and painting this Balinese type of figures on my way here. One of the things why I really recommend getting a car and going to outside just where your hotel is if you're in Bali, that you see so much greenery. You just see so much along the way. You see people in their life, the little villages, and all of the things going on.
Yes, terbaik. Hello, taxi.
There we go, across the street. I think here we can take a peek inside. It's all very, very beautiful. And there are always so many great spots for photos when you walk into these places. This is really beautiful. I think that's for playing the music. If you haven't heard, they have a music style of their own that you often hear around the temples. It's called gamelan, something like that. It's something that if you've been to Bali, you often are reminded of Bali immediately when you hear it. It uses those kind of, I don't know what they are. The closest I could come would be kongs, but maybe that's not correct. Stunning flowers and greenery, and you even got these flowers attached to the figures here. I think they will play the music at the top there as well. You can see some of the instruments. It's so green here. I find when I come to Bali that often it really, really feels really calm and calming. I'll make my way back to the street. It's always worth stopping by in places like this if you can. Look at that face, amazing. And the gates here are often pretty amazing too. Takes a bit of skill to get a good photo with those gates though. Something that I'm sure a lot of you have attempted one time or the other. The customary thing used to be, at least at some temples, to do the tree yoga pose. See if you can hold it long enough to get a nice picture. Look at these instruments. How amazing detail. Walk a little bit through here. Let's see if I can cross somewhere and go back, and then we'll just get a feel for the couple of bigger streets here. We've got gourmet gelato, so we got potentially very good ice cream. I'm coming to an obstacle. I think I can just about make it through here with the cars, but I don't think that's the way to go forward. Maybe I'll try to, well, I will cross to the other side and just see. But we just have all these really, really beautiful details all around here. It's almost a shame to not keep walking. Guess probably you'll miss something. Just going to peek through even though there's a lock at the door. I'm not going to go in, but you can see it's similar style through there. I don't think I'm meant to when there's a lock on the gate. Pretty massive stairs as well. You have to really pay attention to go up and down them. I've seen quite a few demolished places as well. I think that probably has to do with how the pandemic has been around here. These places must have been so quiet for a bit. They are really, or my experience is that they are really, really dependent on tourists, or everything sort of goes around that. Balinese cultural experience. I think I'll just settle to getting a view of the really beautiful gates. That's a really nicely decorated scooter there. It's got a Bali theme there. Very cute. Ubud has of course been a place where there's quite a lot of yoga and meditation, that sort of thing, partly because of the reputation for changing your life from that movie, I'd imagine. But whatever the reason may be, it has a little bit more of that vibe of having a lot of plant-based food. Maybe a bit more trendy restaurants than some other areas. Kind of always been more variety and that sort of thing. Not that Kuta and places like that have a lot of tourists don't have that as well. But it does have that feel. You probably end up spending a little bit more money in those places as well. You stay here. But you can definitely get a cheap hotel. My hotel in Ubud back in the day when I was here for a week was definitely not expensive at all. And it was perfectly fine. You see them listed with sort of no stars and things like that, but it just means they're not they're more like bed and breakfast type of accommodation, but many of them absolutely fine. The road here has sort of disappeared, but inside, amidst all the broken tiles and things, it's very pretty. So I want to eventually end up towards the Monkey Forest, which is a park that actually does have, like the name to suggest, some monkeys. No, thank you. I'll follow this gentleman through. Who also were not too comfortable doing that, I think. If in doubt, follow the locals, as the saying goes. So there are a lot of people in the traditional dress today, going places. Oh, they're just kind of taking the tram onto the streets through there. Kind of interested where they're going, but I think it might be further away. I've seen a lot of people on motorbikes as well, making their way through with sarongs on. That's very fancy private parking behind this gate. I'll just have a look at this temple, see if I can see where they're moving along to. Some kind of celebrations or worship definitely going on today, if not for longer than today as well. Just a little bit of a struggle to navigate it, so That's the way the music is going. I think it must be into this complex here or behind it. I'll go a little bit along, considering they've got their roadworks and things there as well. You can probably cross easier. I'll go a little bit this way. I'm not going to follow into the muddy streets there. I'm going to keep going on the main. No, thank you. So I'm going to basically follow through the crossing towards Monkey Forest, take that way, but it was really interesting to see them. And they seemed very happy with whatever they were doing. It's always fun. I'm not sure the crossings here are too effective in the first place, but there definitely isn't one here. So I'll do what I can. As soon as the bikes are stationary as well. It's looking a little bit like it could rain. But not. It's not an ideal place to cross, but I'll follow. In a moment we should be more into a normal street. It's a big hole. I don't know what they are digging up or demolishing there. Will definitely change things a bit once it's done. Very, very slow pace, but I don't want to really here we go. So I don't really feel like jumping onto the street with the cars coming across, but here we go now. A lot of places are fairly busy for lunch. More people with their musical instruments. There must be some serious music going on wherever they're all going. There are a lot of little alleys like this. Some of them have signs for restaurants and things. It's not very inviting when you don't see the end of it. can see still the effects of the pandemic a little bit, like the souvenir shop at the hotel that I stayed in before as well, and I'm staying now, has closed. I was looking for someone to rent. Oh, I really like this dragon. This is super cool. Wow, I wish I could have that at home. There are also some Buddhas, an ox head. This is like a shrine in itself, isn't it? So beautiful. I think Ubud Ubud really does have that feel that you'd have more sort of variety in what you're buying, and things like the made in Bali shirts there and things. You wanted to do actual shopping and have different types of shops and not just the same tourist, how to say it nicely, well, the same things in every tourist souvenir stall. Then Ubud might be good for that, and you got a lot of international brands as well. I'm sure there are in Kuta as well, but you can get some variety in here. And then in smaller places, it's not so much. It's mostly the market selling the same thing. I like the t-shirt shop. It's nice to see some that are sort of made, yeah, like Monkey Forest, Ubud Bali, like you would have in Hard Rock Cafe, basically. These are quite nice. I brought one of those home from a previous trip. I still have them. Don't need more. Definitely you could find sort of just things to browse and walk around. I like the cocktail bar stop terrace there. Very nice. As you can see, there's a little bit of a dark cloud. Sorry. A little bit of a dark cloud, hopefully nothing too bad. I do have an umbrella if it rains, but of course it would be nice to get through this stretch and not have to find it. A little bit different gate this time, different details, very beautiful. You got more of the little elephants and things, and a lot more clothes than I've seen sort of independent shops sell here. And then some of the stuff that you can find anywhere basically in Bali. And I wonder. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep going, although that is the same or another tram coming at me now. How is that possible? Oh, I do like this one. Well, at least I guess we'll get to cross. And the gentleman here has given me way quite kindly. I think this must be for the monkey forest. This looks very, very fierce. There they are again. Yeah, they are coming this way. Now I'm confused about what's going on. But it doesn't matter, of course. I'm not in no part of this thing, so I'm just kind of wondering Do they walk around and sing, or what's the deal here? There they are. Well, there are more people ahead, so maybe this has been the destination all along. Oh, we got Cha-Cha cat collection. Don't know. Oh, I guess it's just souvenirs and items made out of or carved out of wood. Looks like it. Isn't that pretty? There's a pink garuda at the top there, the bird. Often the symbol of Indonesia. I think the airline as well has been one of my favorite mythical characters. Very fierce looking. They still keep going apparently, so better move along, not to stop the tram. A really nice thing about Ubud that I should mention is that once you travel out of here into the surrounding areas, and they are going to the place behind me and lifting the whole thing up. There they go. Well done, guys. It would be really interesting to see that in action. And there is an electric line that's just disconnected, I hope. Kind of mess you usually see in Vietnam, but sometimes here as well. But as I was saying, one of the nice things about Ubud for me was that when you do take a car out or a bike out, you don't even have to sort of go more than the side streets of Ubud. And suddenly you have those green rice paddies, all of the fields, the cows, everything. It suddenly turns into this really, really beautiful surrounding area. Oh, they got a Miniso. Plenty of those in Singapore. And another line just hanging there in the air. You have to be careful not to walk into them. Or I have to be careful, maybe you wouldn't. Just because doing many things at once is always more of a challenge. And you might notice about sort of in terms of mask wearing, which I think is still required in indoor spaces. But it is, I think, less happening in the sort of areas around Kuta. I don't see many tourists wearing masks at all anywhere. In Sanur, where I'm now, I did see a few people wearing them. And then around the villages and everywhere else, actually, locals seem to be wearing them a bit more. But it seems like as a tourist you could, well, some places are still kind of just getting up and going. But it seems like as a tourist you could get away with almost never wearing a mask. But for example, at my hotel, all the staff, they wear masks. it's one of those things that you don't really know because nothing seems enforced. You have instructions to wear them, and then no one does, which is weird. Coming from places where, look at this little alleyway. Coming from places where when you are told you don't have to wear them, people still do in Singapore. So I guess the takeaway message here would be that they're pretty much getting back to normal here in terms of all that. But you probably want to bring some masks and wear them when instructed to at the door. And a lot of people don't, so it's a mix and match situation. Oh, very cute. What's going on here? All humanity welcome. That's good.
Yeah, he's been waiting.
Map of Bali and Lombok, and then the Gillies as well. Very popular destination for a lot of people who have sort of seen Bali before. I'm wondering if they should be on my list for a visit in September. There's wall painting behind there. Street cheese. So a lot of these places are really, really cute with lots of things you could browse and shop for. Clothes as well. And it's nice to see it's pretty much open, so must be enough tourists now to get things going again. I mean, everyone I talk to says that now there are tourists, now things are getting back. But I feel like if it wasn't the case, they wouldn't basically really tell me either. You can see places are busy, restaurants are reasonably busy. Places a little bit off the beaten path. They look like they are still just getting up and running. Not as many tourists spill out from the popular areas. Oh, look at this dog. Looks like could be a relative of the one we just saw. And what I'll do is I'll finish this video somewhere around here and then record another one. Hopefully I can catch view of some monkeys. I already saw some monkeys, some baby monkeys as well as I was coming in. It's a little bit always interesting experience with them because they are so used to tourists. I don't know how they are now after a couple of years of the pandemic, but the monkey forest monkeys used to be quite cheeky. Although I think they are the ones that are fed with bananas quite frequently, whereas the Uluwatu ones are the ones that steal people's glasses and things like that. You really want to be careful. I've seen some expensive sunglasses, not mine or anyone I know, but well, but another tourist being taken and twisted and did not recover after that. So monkeys are surprisingly strong. They will take your stuff, and they have really big teeth. So with that said, probably going to see some in a moment. So what I'll do is, since we're at 41 minutes, I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this look at Ubud. Some of the main streets, through a couple of nice temples and sites. It was a really, really, really nice walk for me, so I hope you also liked it. And if you'd like to see the next walk, then you can subscribe to the channel. But you don't have to. Whatever you'd like to do. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope I'll see you again soon, maybe for some monkeys.